is up, everyone? It is Rachel. Welcome back to my channel. And so today is an exciting video because I asked you all questions on my YouTube community tab and via Instagram for questions all about UC Berkeley. If I didn't get to your specific question, I will be responding to the questions I didn't get to on the community tab, so definitely check that out. And also definitely check out my UC Berkeley playlist here on YouTube. I will have it linked down below, like videos about UC Berkeley dorms, videos about the dining halls, videos about move-in, everything like that. So I'll have a bunch of videos that I think you should check out linked down below. And so if you are new to my channel, hello, my name is Rachel. I graduated last year in May 2020 where I double majored in cognitive science and legal studies. And now I'm currently working full-time at a law firm. On YouTube, I post a lot of college-related and post-grad content. And so if you're a student applying to colleges this year, you should definitely check out Study Hall College Consulting. It's a team of myself and other UC Berkeley students where we specialize in reviewing college application essays and consulting one-on-one with students and parents who may have questions. So definitely check out our website and social medias because we have a ton of free resources as well, where we post a ton of tips and tricks on our blog and social media pages. So without further ado, let's get into this video. So the first question is UC Berkeley really cutthroat and competitive? I feel like this question comes up a bunch, especially when I was a tour guide at Berkeley. A ton of students would always ask, and so I feel like there's a stigma around UC Berkeley as like super cutthroat, super competitive, but I feel like when you're actually on campus taking classes, I wouldn't say that Berkeley's classes are cutthroat, where people are purposefully trying to like not share notes or like tell you the wrong exam day or exam time to make you miss your test or something like that. In my 4 years, I have never met someone snaky like that, but I'm sure that they exist not only at Berkeley, but like at any college or even in the workforce that you go to. People might be like using you or do certain things to try to get themselves ahead, and I feel like that kind of person you can probably find anywhere. But I would say that Berkeley's classes are very collaborative. Like, I've taken the STEM classes with computer science and math classes for my cognitive science major, and then I've also taken more of the reading, discussion heavy classes with my legal studies major. So I've had a mix of both kinds of classes, and definitely in both kinds I've made friends in classes. You have to do like partner projects, group work, stuff like that, where you can meet people, talk to people. And similar to high school, sometimes you get stuck in group or partner projects where your group literally does nothing. And I thought, okay, going to Berkeley, you know, everyone is going to like work hard in their group projects. It's not going to be like high school where I often found myself doing all of the work. But like similar kind of thing happens at Berkeley where like group projects, some people don't do anything. So I wouldn't say that Berkeley is cutthroat in the way that people are purposefully trying to sabotage you or like hurt you. But I would say that Berkeley is competitive in the way where Berkeley really makes you competitive with yourself in order to get the good grades in the classes, because a lot of Berkeley's classes are graded on a curve, meaning that they can only let a certain percentage of students get A's and B's and C's, sort of like a bell curve that you learn in statistics. And so usually it helps you. A lot of times, especially like the STEM classes that I took, the averages in the exams were like 50%, 30%. The lowest ever grades that I have ever gotten in classes ever, like, you know, you're a straight A student in high school, A's and B's, and then you go to college and then in Berkeley, and then you're getting like 40% on an exam. But with the curve, a 40%, that can be like an A or a B, but you're also getting compared to everyone else in your class. So if the average is a 50%, but you got a 40%, then maybe you're falling in the B or the C range, versus if you score above the average, then you're doing well in the class, even though you're getting like half the questions wrong. So I would say that Berkeley is competitive in the way that you're going to push yourself to study super hard so you can score well in these classes. Like, everyone at this school is so intelligent, so smart. Like, some people are naturally gifted that they didn't have to study and could still score super well. For me, it wasn't the case. I would have to study. I had to put in the time in order to try to score well on exams. And you're probably going to get grades that you have never scored that low before. And for me, like, that was a shock. But I think like taking that and not feeling discouraged and working harder in classes and realizing like, okay, this isn't going to be as easy as high school. Like, it is so hard. Classes are really, really hard. The people are so freaking smart. And so like for me, I had to put in the time, the effort, the hard work in order to score well and get the grades that I wanted to get. So the next question is work study / getting a job worth it in college? I would definitely say yes to this question. For work study, you have to qualify for work study, but if you do qualify for work study, it's like you get a job, usually on campus, but not necessarily, and then some of the money that you're earning goes towards paying your tuition. So I would say yes, this is worth it, especially if you'd want to try to graduate debt-free. So like for me, I wasn't doing work study, but I did have 3 jobs throughout college. I was a campus ambassador, also known as a tour guide. I worked as a resident assistant as an RA. So as an RA, I got free housing and a free meal plan for my sophomore to senior years of college. And then my junior and senior years, I worked as a hiring and training coordinator with Residential Life. And I felt like having jobs, it gives you more freedom because you are earning your own money and then you can spend that money however you want. And so like with time management and balancing a job on the side, I would say that a lot of the on-campus jobs, you know, they do realize that you are a student first. So typically on-campus jobs, they are accommodating and they'll work with your schedule. There are a ton of on-campus jobs that you can have. So maybe if you're just starting out in college as a freshman or transfer, maybe your first semester, you don't get a job straight away, so you can sort of figure out what college classes are like. How much do you need to study? How much time does homework take? That kind of thing. And then maybe your second semester on campus, then you add more things to your plate so you're not super overwhelmed your first semester in college. So the next question is, how do you apply for clubs? I think I have a few videos that I will have linked down below on this process, but I would say that a lot of the major clubs, or at least like the famous or the popular ones, are very, very competitive to get into, which it's like, oh my gosh, you got into Berkeley, that's great. And then you have to apply for clubs, and then it's like an even worse process than college admissions. I don't even know why these clubs are so competitive, and like looking back at it, it's like there is no reason for the competitive club culture. I feel like okay, yes, it makes sense, you can't be admitting like thousands and thousands of people into your club, but I feel like a lot of the popular famous clubs on campus sort of have a toxic culture in the way that like they think that they're super great, and it sort of creates this like elite status. Like why do you need that? What's the point of that? For applying to clubs, every semester there's usually a big club fair, but if the fall is like hybrid in person, maybe this club fair will be in person again. But literally the first few weeks of every semester on Sproul Plaza, which is the main heart of campus, a ton of clubs will go out there and do what is called flyering. So people will literally table and sit at their table throughout the day, all day for these 3 weeks, and give you flyers and try to get you to like join their club. So talking to people on Sproul Plaza during the first few weeks of school, you can see what clubs are out there, talk to a representative or member of the club, see what's up, what's the club like, what's their recruitment process like, what do you have to do, that kind of thing. But also Berkeley has a website that lists all of the clubs on campus. You know, there's thousands of clubs and they all can't be on Sproul Plaza, so definitely go on Sproul, out, talk to people, see what's there, but also check out this website. And in addition to this website, I would also like go on to the Facebook pages for UC Berkeley. A lot of people post ads for their clubs on there, and I would definitely say that joining clubs is a really great way to meet people, especially if you join a club for like your interest. Then you can meet a ton of people with a similar interest as you, passion as you, and so that's a really great way to find friends and meet new people on campus. So the next question is, what do you do on the weekends and for fun? So there is definitely a ton of things that you can do in Berkeley and in the surrounding areas for fun on the weekends when you have free time after class. So if you're on Berkeley's campus specifically, there's a lot of really great hiking trails right next to campus, so that's a free activity. You can go hiking right next to campus as well. There's a few like museums that you can go to, so you can check those out. There's a ton of restaurants and like boba places. You can try so many different cuisines. And then near Berkeley on the weekends, you can go to like Oakland or San Francisco. In San Francisco, we would go on the weekends sometimes. I feel like once the semester gets busy, then no one has free time to like go to San Francisco anymore, or like it's really hard to get you and your friends' schedules to mesh up correctly. Like once midterms start happening, things just get very hectic. But if you and your friends can find the time, going into San Francisco is great. Trying different foods, you know, seeing the really popular tourist spots like the Golden Gate Bridge. Also, there's a lot of like museums and parks in San Francisco. So I would definitely say there are a ton of things to do in Berkeley and in the surrounding areas of Berkeley. Honestly, there are so many things that like even after my 4 years, I haven't even done it all, and like there were some things that I wanted to do that I never got the chance to do, which is sort of sad. So like honestly, 4 years I didn't do it all, so like there is a never-ending list of things to do, and like if you really did want to explore, prioritize that, time manage, get your stuff done, so then on the weekends you can have time to go explore the city. The next question is it easy to double major or get a minor? And so for this question, I would say yes. You just have to plan out your schedule well that you can graduate. I feel like all of my freshman year friends who I'm still friends with, we all double majored, so like we're a whole group of double majors, and so I feel like double majoring or getting a minor also is very popular. And especially, you know, you're paying for college, you might as well take as many classes as you can and take the classes that you're truly interested in and passionate about. And at Berkeley, you're not paying for the class, you pay a flat fee for going to college there, and so you can take as many classes as you want for the same price as if you took the minimum number of units that you need to take to be a full-time student. And so I think I'm going to do another updated class schedule video because I have one from like a year ago that I will have linked down below, but I think I'm going to do an updated version in a few weeks or so. So the next question is about transportation on campus. Berkeley's campus is very hilly. I have a bunch of campus tour videos, dorm tour videos. I'll have that linked down below also. So I would say the most popular form of transportation is walking. I walked on campus all 4 years. I thought maybe I would get a bike my sophomore year, but then I was like, yo, I cannot bike up hills. Like that is way too much work. Like no. We like to say that every day is leg day because you are going to get a workout. I would consistently get like 10,000 plus steps per day. But yeah, I think walking is totally doable. It's the easiest way because if you have a bike or something, then you have to lock your bike up in a bike station kind of thing, which there are a bunch of places where you can lock your bike on campus, but I would say that people do have bikes on campus. And another popular form of transportation on campus, people have electric skateboards or scooters. So electric skateboards were super popular, where you stand on them and like you press a button and then it will go for you. You don't even need to move your leg on the ground, but you could just zip up the hill so fast. So that's pretty popular as well. In terms of having a car, I would definitely say you don't need to have a car on campus. Some of my friends had a car on campus because they like drive home on the weekends, or they have like an internship or or job where they need to have a car to get there because the buses don't go there, something like that. Having a car is expensive on campus because then you have to buy a parking pass. One of my friends who had a university parking pass, it is like $1,000 or something per semester, so like it is not cheap. And then if you were looking for other parking passes on the Berkeley free and for sale pages, people would often post that they're selling their parking pass or post asking if anyone has one that they're selling. So like I didn't personally have a car. I really feel like there's no need to have a car on campus because you can get anywhere on campus by walking, and if you wanted to leave campus, you can always use Uber or Lyft, like a rideshare service. Or with your Berkeley fees, you get a free bus pass, but like you technically pay for the bus pass with your fees, but with the bus passes, you can ride the AC Transit buses for free technically. So like these buses go everywhere. You can get to the grocery store via bus. You can get into San Francisco via the bus. You can go into Oakland via the buses. So like that's a great way for free if you didn't want to pay for Uber or Lyft. Also, right next to campus is the BART station, which is like the metro subway station right near campus. It's super cheap. You can pay a few dollars and get into San Francisco as well. So like really no need for a personal car because there are so many other ways to get around. So the next question is, what is the social life like? Parties, especially if you're not in Greek life. So like for me, I was not in Greek life. Greek life is also sort of expensive, I feel like a couple $1,000s per semester to join. But I would say non-pandemic times, if you are in Greek life, the fraternities host a ton of parties. And so if you are in a sorority, they don't host parties, but typically fraternities host them and will invite sororities, or you would get bids to go to the frat parties. So it's sort of like you need to be in Greek life or you need to know someone in Greek life to go to the parties. But also with the bids, I remember my freshman year, I wasn't in Greek life, but I knew some people who knew some people in Greek life. So they knew what the bid was going to look like for that party that evening. And so what we did was you would get those wristbands, you can buy them off the internet, I guess. And then they usually have a different pattern or shape or sticker on them every single different party so that people can't copy the bids or sneak into the party kind of thing. But I feel like a lot of people would fake bids, and so you would have your wristband, and if you knew someone who knew someone who knew what the bid was going to look like for that party, you could fake the bid, or you get a real bid from someone and then you photocopy that and then you make your own wristbands. And so I feel like people would do that to sneak into the parties as well. So I would say social life is fine whether you are in Greek life or not. Honestly, I would say after your sophomore year, so typically people turn 21 their junior year, then junior, senior year, you don't really go to frat parties anymore, but you more so go to the bars and stuff like that. Because even if you aren't in Greek life, in your dorm floor, they would host parties in people's dorm rooms kind of thing. You really don't need to be in Greek life to have fun or make friends, but you can still make friends with the people on your floor your freshman year, and then you have parties in your dorm. So the last question that I'll be talking about here is, what makes Cal worth the cost? What are some of my favorite things? And so this one is definitely a tricky question because as an out-of-state student, Berkeley is really, really expensive. And so sometimes I do think about what if I did stay in-state, all of the money that I could have saved kind of thing. And so obviously I think that's something that you all have to think about when committing, is Berkeley worth the price tag? And so I would definitely say some of the pros of UC Berkeley is that it opens a lot of doors. But depending what you want to do with your future, I think Berkeley can really, really help launch you into the career path that you want, or you can meet people and network with people at Berkeley that can help you out in the future. And depending on what program that you're looking into, you can get a world-class education, and a lot of the programs, majors, fields at Berkeley are top in the nation. But I would say the big things that drew me to Berkeley was the location and the people. So the location, the Bay Area, Silicon Valley is right nearby. I feel like there's so much innovation, there's so much tech and hustle and bustle. So that's a pro, especially if you are interested in working in Silicon Valley or tech or something like that. And then I would say the people at Berkeley are some of the most intelligent people that you will ever meet, but also some of the most passionate people that I have ever met. Like literally every single day at Berkeley, I was learning something new, whether it was from people that I met in class or in the dorms. Everyone is so passionate about something that you will be learning every day, not just in the classroom, but outside of the classroom as well. And I think that kind of atmosphere is super inspiring, even though the classes are so difficult and like you will be pushed to your limits. The people that you meet like made me want to work harder, try harder, be better, and like push myself to be better in my classes, to be a better person. And it's inspiring like to see people working on their passions, their passion projects, starting their own startups, and I'm like, wow, that is truly inspiring. And you know, I did also want to explore California. Being an East Coast girl, like California is like a place where everyone wants to go, and so that kind of location also drew me to California and to Berkeley. And the boba is like to die for. Literally, there is like 10 to 12 different boba places in like a 4-block radius of campus. You will never run out of boba to drink, and that's why you get a job, so you can afford your boba habits, because I'd spend so much money on like boba and stuff. And so yeah, that is the end of this video. I'm honestly sort of annoyed. This lighting, like, look, shadows are coming in. So yeah, definitely let me know if you have any other questions down below and I could do a part 2. As always, thank you all so much for watching. It really means a lot. Make sure you like this video and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more. I post every single Sunday and Wednesday at 11 a.m. Eastern. So I will see you all next time.